American Sedan is coming up next. It's going to be a real battle between the Camaros and Mustangs. There is a Camaro on the pole, Ross Murray. He lives in California, but don't be fooled. He's a Kiwi. New Zealand. He's driven and raced in rain and snow. He likes the cold weather. They actually borrowed an engine to get here, so it'll be interesting to see how he finishes. Right behind him, a Mustang, Matthew Roberts. He says it's smooth, looking good, and we'll be back in just a moment with more racing as the American Sedans get ready to leave the pre-grid.
Did you get them brakes at Pep Boys?
Yeah, I did.
I appreciate it.
Now get up to $40 back on premium Rebestos brake service. Pep Boys, one more reason cars like us, people love us.
Now hear this. Need to know what to watch on Speed Vision? Log on to speedvision.com. Find the latest daily, weekly, and monthly program schedules from the world of speed. Get the inside line anytime. Log on to speedvision.com.
All of the excitement, all of the thrills. Only Racer Magazine can capture the edge of your seat excitement of auto racing. In every issue, award-winning photographers and editors give you everything you need to stay on the cutting edge of your obsession. With your subscription, you're part of the team because we go way beyond simply giving results and reporting on what happened during the race, because some of the most exciting action happens off the track. If you call right now, you'll get 12 months of Racer delivered right to your home or office at 60% off the cover price. You get all the action for just $19.97. Just call 1-800-772-7252. Act now, and for only $166 per month, you'll receive a full year of America's best and most respected auto racing magazine delivered right to you every month. Racer, get up to speed. Get it all for just $19.97. Call 1-800-772-7252.
Tonight, head to Daytona for Bike Week on American Thunder. Then restore a Mach 1 Mustang. Plus, watch Billy Bob get chummy with the Chopper Chicks. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern, Hot Rod TV at 7:30, and Lost Drive-In at 11.
Today's live coverage of the second day of SCCA's National Championships, the Valvoline Runoffs on Speed Vision, is being brought to you by Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines, and also by Toyota. More choices, better selection. Experience Toyota today. There's a look at your pole sitter for the American Sedan category, and when one thinks of one word to describe American Sedan, to me it's wooma. Tell us about it, Dorsey.
Big V8 power here, 305 cubic inches. They're all on carburetors. It's a production car. It's a regular street car, but it can do modifications to suspension and brakes.
And these things get up and haul. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. They are very, very quick.
They're on shaved street tires, so they slip and slide, and they rub handles, door handles. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Now, one driver in this category is Andy McDermott. Andy's been running these cars for a long time. He's had a great season leading into the runoffs. A little bit earlier, Calvin Fish spent some time with Andy McDermott.
For many drivers in the field this weekend, the runoffs is a first-time experience. In fact, we have 111 competitors who have never been to the runoffs before. Now, Mid-Ohio is a very technical and very challenging racetrack, so if you've been here before, it certainly gives you an advantage. A lot of the drivers run nationals throughout the year, being able to hone their cars, fine-tune the setup, and really get them dialed in for the most important race weekend of their year. One such driver is Andy McDermott. Andy's running in the A Sedan category. Andy, not only have you raced here this year, you've won at Mid-Ohio. Does that give you a leg up on the competition this weekend?
Yeah, I think it does. As the years go by, the track deteriorates a little bit, and you're able to feel how the track is coming to your car and able to adjust for any type of deterioration the track has.
Now, in A Sedan, looks like a classic Ford-Chevy battle. How do you think it's going to pan out today?
Oh, it's going to be a real war, I think. You've got a couple of Pontiacs mixed in there, too, with the Camaros and the Mustangs. It's going to be a really good race.
Now, when you talk of wars, if I was out there on the racetrack against you, it looks like you work out a little bit. I'm not sure I'd want to meet you in pit lane afterwards.
Well, we don't have too many arguments lost in the pit lane when they see me hop out of my car.
Well, best of luck today. Have fun out there.
All right, thanks a lot.
I'll tell you what, I saw Andy McDermott pull a move at Road America once the brakes on his then A Sedan Mustang let go coming into turn 5, and he did a slalom into the runoff area, snapped, turned back out on track, came back and brought her back to third. We'll be right back.
There are deals on internet service. There are deals on long distance. But there's only one way to get a great deal on both. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP and sign up for Sprint 1000 nights with unlimited Earthlink internet access. For just $30 a month, you get 1,000 minutes of state-to-state long distance to use every night of the week. Plus, you'll also get unlimited internet access. Surf the web, check email, shop online, anytime you want. It's all in one simple plan with one simple bill for one great price. Just $30 a month gives you unlimited internet access, plus 1,000 minutes of nighttime state-to-state long distance. Sign up now for Sprint 1000 nights with unlimited Earthlink internet access. One service, one bill, one low price. Because some things were just meant to be together. Hook up with Sprint and Earthlink at 1-800-PIN-DROP or visit sprint.com.
Brace yourself for the dawn of the undead as the Lost Drive-In goes ghoulish in October.
Something's wrong here.
Every Saturday night, try to live through one petrifying Lost Drive-In after another as Speed Vision carries you off to the dark side.
Looks like a nightmare factory.
What the hell's going on around here anyway?
There's no place to run. There's no place to hide.
No, I promise you I won't go out.
So grab a friend and get ready to scream. Tonight, Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town, 11 Eastern, 10 Pacific.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Mid-Ohio, where we are bringing you live coverage on Speed Vision of SCCA's Amateur National Championships, the Valvoline Runoffs. I'm Greg Kramer, along with Dorsey Schrader. Calvin Fish will be joining us in the booth. John Bizignano and Sandy Hang out in a very cold pit lane. Temperatures now in the low 40s, and it's continuing to cool off here. It's going to be very interesting. The next race coming up, this is going to be a good one, a very exciting race, the fourth of the live races we're bringing you today, and it is the American Sedan. So let's bring you our Valvoline Max Life A Sedan, as they call it, starting lineup. Ross Murray, the 98 champ, on the pole. Always very quick. Matt Roberts alongside. The second row is Robert Burnett, who was third last year, by the way, and David Bechtel. In the next couple of rows, it'll be Ken Bittinger and Bob Allison, who's the champion in the Central Division, and Kenneth McVicker and Kerry Grant out of Cordova, Tennessee, second in Midwestern Division. Next couple of rows is Richard Keyshawn, who is second in the Northern Pacific Division, and Brian Dobbins, along with Tom Hines and Kelly Lubosh in row number 6. And there in row 7 is Andy McDermott. Now, he was very quick as we show you the rest of the grid, Calvin. You said he was quick in the first qualifying session, had a problem in tech. They dropped back as a result, but he's much quicker than he shows.
He really is. He feels very confident with the car. I mean, these conditions, though, Greg, are going to be tough. We see someone off there on the pace lap, the black Mustang, I believe, off on going through turn 10 there. So, as you can see, the horsepower and torque of these cars is going to be a real problem in these cool conditions. There's a leak there on the back of McDermott's car. Maybe that's fuel. He's certainly topped up here for the 20 lapper, but these guys are going to have their work cut out. When they go down for the green, we could see some slipping and sliding, Doors.
All right, Sandy, I'm sorry, I got to jump in. Sandy, let's go down. You've got some updates on number 10, Matt Roberts.
Yeah, he's on the outside pole. Matt Roberts has been dealing with a lot of gear changes, musical gear changes, and I talked to him on the pre-grid. He's not quite sure they've got what they need in there, but he's hopeful. So if we see them take the green flag and he falls behind or ahead, we'll know if he made the right selection or not.
Most literally selection, yeah.
Well, now, remember that at the end of that last race, it only ran one more lap. We had a big oil down around the racetrack. These guys have trouble getting power to the ground anyway. These cars over 500 horsepower on street tires, so not an easy car to drive.
No, real skinny tires, as you said, compared to the weight and power they're dealing with. Pate's car is in, so they'll come up here, complete the run through one up through the chicane and the keyhole, and then it's the run toward that green flag. And these guys in this turn 7 on the start, always exciting, let alone in these conditions.
I thought you were going to say it was going to run to the oil, which it will be.
Well, this is the real Ford-Chevy battle here. We've only got one Pontiac in the field that starts 26, and in recent years, it's really been the Chevys that have had the upper hand. Ford have only had one win recently back in '98, and there's a car in the pits with a flat tire there. That's the 47 car, I believe, at Mountain Shook. So problems early for that car.
Yep, qualified in the 22nd spot, having some problems. He's in and he shut it down already.
And look at this, guys, because you don't expect in a 20-lap race to have a pit stop. There's nobody there to help him with that flat tire.
That's tough. Meanwhile, here we go out of the keyhole. Watch for it. You can see Murray on pole. A little bit of a nose ahead here as they come down. Otherwise, look okay. Green. We are green. Murray on the inside. Roberts on the outside. Look at Burnett. Drops a couple of wheels. Oh, bing off. Oh, that's That's a high-speed spot for that to happen.
That's Bettinger, I think. That's McDermott's teammate.
Same scheme. Yep, number 88. Ken Bettinger. And it was a fairly glancing blow, it looked like. It could have been a lot worse than it was right there.
Gets the window net down right away, which is a signal to the people watching that he is okay in there. You leave that up if you're hurt. You take it down or up immediately if you're not.
This is where the oil's at, Dorsey, as you mentioned, and these cars probably don't know about it. Maybe they informed them on the pre-grid, but they went out in the race and saw the oil drop. They can see the oil dry in this area, but there's certainly oil coming down through the S's there.
Looks like Burnett was able to take over that second spot with a nice move. Now the question is where that car is parked, or as you pointed out, of Bittinger, that we may have, we'll have to see what they do. That's in a very high-speed area. Look at this move right here. Here comes Burnett, and there's Bittinger right behind him, and he comes across and...
He got tagged. He got tagged hard in the back end there by the white Camaro. Can't see a number on it yet.
There it is.
But very lucky that that didn't turn into a much bigger deal with all the cars just now starting.
Yeah, if he'd come back across right at that point there, Dorsey, that would have been a real melee going on there. And you can see the yellow flags waving. Hopefully the guys have seen that. But at the start of the race, you're typically looking ahead. They're still racing down there in the yellow.
Yeah, they're yellow there, certainly. Here comes the truck. And, of course, one of the things to be concerned about for these cars with the fact we talked about the skinny tires, a lot of power, a lot of weight. They brake early, and one of those sets of braking cone, the marker cones, was leveled as well.
You see them right there. You know, the street tires, you can overheat them as well. No doubt about that when you have that kind of horsepower on tap.
And Andy McDermott, look at the progress he's making through the pack. He's taking a run at 6th right now. Still yellow there, so there's no passing in that area. And 2 sets of those braking cones were done.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, that's okay because the yellow's out, but he was past the incident, so he was able to make the pass, and that should be a legal pass.
Yeah, the rule is from where the yellow is displayed till past the incident itself, you can't pass, but after the incident, you can.
And that was Ken McVicker. He just moved around, and that should move him up into the top 6 with 1.5 laps complete here in Sedan.
I like new things, especially when they get old.
Like keeping things around? Good news. Introducing Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Max Life conditions use seals to help prevent leaks and helps keep your high mileage engine performing for a long, long time.
Son, another 100,000 miles and this baby will be yours.
What is the essence of performance? Speed? Traction? Control? Or is it exceeding your own expectations? The Kumho Extra Supra 712. World-class quality and value. Kumho. Way to go.
Put the food down, walk away, nobody gets hurt.
Let's do it! I got him!
Think you're tough enough to drive a Tacoma? Join the club. Introducing the double cab with over 5 feet of bed length.
You just can't mess with a man's salad.
Word up.
Next Sunday, the world's best riders stretch the laws of gravity. First, Colin Edwards spins up some heat in Japan. Then will Kenny Roberts put another championship trophy on the family shelf? All the action heats up at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Speed Vision.
Well, welcome back to Mid-Ohio. You are right in the back of the pits while the cars are on the back side of the racetrack. We want to tell you about the tires. The booth was talking about how these are street radials. They're absolutely the same kind of tire you can go to any Goodyear dealer and buy right off the showroom floor. But they're shaved down. This may look like it's been used up already, but this is what they want. They want to get as much rubber on the road as possible. Right in here, those used to be where the tread was. Wherever there's tread, that's an air gap. That's where the rubber will not be contacting the surface of the road. This tire looks perfectly worn out. Actually, it's perfectly ready to go racing.
And also, I think a Well, part of that is if you have a lot of tread, it flexes, builds heat, chunks off. So there's a multiplicity of reasons that they do that. But absolutely, get as much rubber to the road as possible.
Well, they call those tread sipes, and in fact, they do squirm. It's tread squirm that you're talking about there. And the more thickness of tread you have, of course, that's only for dissipating water, which right now it's not doing yet.
Meanwhile, there's the look, and there's your leader, 74, Ross Murray. Close at hand is number 21, Robin Burnett. And look at this. That's just getting around. That's the number 47 car we saw in the pit lane earlier with that flat left front tire. So number 10 is Matt Roberts, and he has just lapped that car. But that car, look at this. It's Andy McDermott, number 24. And that is fourth spot as he's working his way through the field. And that lap car, number 47, of course, moving out of the way to let Andy through. But an unbelievable drive from McDermott. But the lap car at least is back out, Sandy.
Yes, and thanks to everybody on pit lane. This is one of the beautiful things about SCCA racing. People from lots of teams ran over to help him get back out on the track. So cut a tire, but it didn't take long, and he's at least going to have some fun racing here today.
Well, that he is, and again, that just is testament indeed to what this SCCA family and fraternity is. I mean, they're fierce competitors, but they're also friends.
He might have had to borrow a tire. He might not have had one of his own down there.
This is a pass for position here, isn't it, Cal? That's McDermott moving now into third.
He's on a charge, Greg. I mean, he got a great shot there coming off the carousel. Good exit speed was the key. He got alongside early, and there was really nothing that Roberts could do to defend the move down into turn one. But look at him maneuver that car. He's really throwing the thing around, Doss.
Yeah, Andy McDermott doing a good job. He's come from way back there, and he's just really got the car working real well now. Could be because of the cold weather that he's got a good tire choice. We've seen that be paramount today in all the classes we've seen so far.
Yeah, he has given it a great ride. You can see he's not that far behind Burnett in second, who's not that far behind Murray, who is in the lead. So, I mean, McDermott, we've only got 4 laps complete, working lap 5, so over 3/4 of this race to go, and McDermott already there. Now, look at this coming way.
He started to pull out from a quarter mile away.
At least Andy wouldn't have seen him. He wasn't even in his rearview mirror when he started the move.
That is, of course, number 10, Matt Roberts, now relegated to 4th at this stage. And in 5th, I think it remains the number 24, or the number 25, I mean, of Dave Bechtel, but we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, we're watching a good run here by number 10, Matt Roberts. But McDermott's charge biz through the pack has really just been amazing.
Within qualifying, their qualifying engine blew up, and the engine in the car was only secured a couple days ago and put in last night. So he is out there with no time whatsoever on that motor.
He doesn't care. He's having fun. He is throwing that car around. He has reeled in Robin Burnett in just a matter of a few corners. Cal, you were watching him. He has crossed up here, opposite lock there. And I know, Andy, he's grinning inside that helmet. You can't believe the size of that grin.
Well, however many horsepower that engine has, he's using every one of them there as he comes on the front straightaway, completely sideways, crossed up and given it one. And he's about to make a move for second. He's got good power. See a car off to the right there, safety vehicle on track. And Andy McDermott is about 3 car lengths back. It's going to be tough to pull the drop. But if he's even in with sniffing range, Doors, he's going to make a move at the end of the back straightaway.
Yeah, you're not kidding. His adrenaline's up, his dander's up, everything's up. He wants to get the front, starting 13th and all the way up here. You know, that car's really running good for an unknown motor being put in.
And one thing Andy is not lacking in is bravado. He is willing to push that car to the limit. And seriously, I've known Andy for a while, and when he gets done with the race where he's throwing a car around like that, he is grinning ear to ear. I mean, he just loves to get those big horsepower cars a little loose and drive them, and he just turned quick lap of the race, so not a big surprise the way he's throwing that around.
Well, he's using everything he's got to work with, that's for sure. He's using all the racetrack, all the tires he's got. Now, I don't know, it's nice and cold outside. I don't know if he can abuse the rear tires, Calvin, in this temperature or not.
Well, there you see the car in front of him. He's getting sideways as well, so he's feeling the pressure. I mean, it's tough around this racetrack when you're running your own line, but when you have to start to defend and pinch the line a little bit, trying to you know, block the inside move. It really affects the race car, particularly with the amount of torque that these cars have, Dorsey. You really need to have a nice flowing line around the racetrack, not bind them up too much. And McDermott slides to the inside, jumps on the brakes at the last moment, makes the pass stick. He's up to second. He's got his eye on the gold medal this afternoon.
Steve Kinzer would have been proud of that slide job pass. He was rotated before he even got to the corner.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that big wing on the roof to stop it from keep going sideways. That's the problem.
Unbelievable move here as McDermott now up into second. Sandy, he is flying, and I think Burnett's just kind of watching in amazement.
Well, Burnett is watching it. Actually, they have a brand new rear suspension on that car, so they're feeling it out, seeing how it's going there at this point. And we've got to give you a weather update again. We're having sleet has just started again, and we'll have to be watching that on the track and as well as in here in pit lane.
Oh, gee, getting the Sedan cars a little looser.
Yeah, it's nice and warm here, though, Greg.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Sleet's good. I like that. Mr. McDermott, he'll like that, too. He doesn't care about the grip out there. He's going to drive it sideways all the way to the finish.
Sandy, Biz, I respect what you're doing out there immensely, and I feel for you. These other two, they're hopeless.
I have to tell you about this. That's what long underwear is made for. I've got 3 layers down here. I'm not going to freeze. I'm going to run and have fun with it. I may sniffle a little, guys. You'll have to just put up with it.
I thought Sandy was going commando today.
Well, I do look like the Michelin Man. I've got a coat that's 2 sizes too big, so I can stuff all this extra layers underneath.
Well, you need it. Obviously, temperatures, as we said, continuing to drop down into the low 40s right now. And you can start to see a little bit of moisture appearing on the camera lenses right now. And decked out, ready to rock.
I do have a lot of layers under here, and that's just the best way to make it work, because I'm not going to miss the fun because I'm cold. Not going to happen.
Hey, Sandy, if you take that black coat off and put a white one on, you can go as Mr. Bibb for Michelin.
You guys are nasty.
Oh, sorry, Sandy, but number 24, McDermott, just locked up the left front big time heading into the chicane. Give you an idea that he is indeed pushing hard. He's drawn away from Burnett, but the question is, what does he have here in store for Ross Murray? And Ross, remember, 98 champion, a very savvy driver. He's getting reports. He knows what's happening behind him. And, you know, if he may be thinking, let him come, he'll use his car up, and I'm going to just conserve and conserve and conserve.
When you watch McDermott, he's getting loose in the fast stuff, but he's very patient in his throttle application, Dorsey. When he comes off the keyhole, he realizes the exit speed is the key. He's made a lot of great moves at the end of the back straightaway.
Now, the one thing you got to worry about is, has he used up a lot of car getting from 13th up to the lead? Well, look right there as our leader's loose now.
Yeah, he's definitely getting a little bit crossed up here right now, feeling the pressure. Meanwhile, the teammate to Andy McDermott, number 88, Kent Bittinger, had that off a little bit earlier. He's down at pit lane.
Great qualifying session, 5th on the grid, and then it all went away in the first lap.
Yes, first of all, I want to tell everybody at home I'm okay. It was a pretty hard hit, but and I want to thank everybody that helped me get here. It was a great qualifying run. I got taken out in the first corner there. Another competitor got into the back of me going into the first turn there. So, you know, we'll try and come back and get him next year. I want to give a high five to my teammate who just took the lead here with a blown motor from Ross Murray, Andy McDermott. He's doing a great job out there.
Oh, he's doing a terrific job out there, guys. And when he went by here, when the smoke went up, so did the whole team.
Oh, no doubt about it. 74, Ross Murray. The engine apparently has let go big, and McDermott is your leader. And what a heartbreak for Ross Murray. So fast in qualifying. The 98 champ looking to back it up with another gold medal, and it's not going to happen. And look at the rain starting to come down, the sleet and the rain coming down. But McDermott, if he was using the car up, now he gets a little bit of a break.
Well, right now he needs to backpedal a little bit because that front straightaway by pits where Biz is going to be covered in oil from that explosion we just saw. Blew that motor all the bits over there. And that rain or sleet, whatever it is out there, is not going to make his job any easier. Right now, just take a deep breath. He's got this thing in hand if he just keeps it cool.
Yeah, I've got to be very smooth at this stage. But, of course, at the same time, you've got to keep in mind that Robin Burnett wants the gold, too. And if he can run a little quicker, he is going to take a run at it right now. Now, let's go back, take a look at what happened to Ross Murray as he was being chased down by Andy McDermott. Coming out of that carousel.
Oh, he already knows there's trouble. You see, he pulled to the inside. He already felt it, that dust shake. And then look at the pieces flying. You see that, Cal?
Yeah.
Big piece of rod or something bouncing down the straightaway.
That's expensive.
Yeah, that's a number 10 blow. That's a number 9 blow up. It didn't catch fire.
And you know what? This is also a class act. He sensed what was going on, as you pointed out, and he was already
waving.
Yep.
See him waving in there.
And he's off the line. There's no oil down on the racing line itself. That was a class act by Ross Murray.
There's a company that wants to approve you for a new Visa card. Whether it's Visa Classic to build or rebuild your credit, the prestige of Visa Gold with an even higher credit line, or the purchasing power of Visa Platinum, the only card you'll ever need. The company is Providian, one of the top issuers of Visa cards in the world with over 14 million customers. Whether it's Classic, Gold, or Platinum, call now and apply right over the phone. Providian will work hard to give you the card that's right for you. Visa from Providian. We approve.
G-Tech Pro performance meter measures 0 to 60 times, quarter-mile times and speed, braking distance, handling G's, and yes, horsepower. No installation, 1/10 of a second accuracy, achieved with a precision accelerometer and DSP technology. Magazines have tested it. Now they test with it. G-Tech Pro is only $139.95. Call our 24-hour hotline right now at 1-800-G-Tech Pro. That's 1-800-483-2477.
Rugged, tough. The Rhino is built to take grueling off-road abuse, and so can Rhino Lining's Tough Stuff truck bed liners. If you work your truck hard, then you need a Rhino Lining sprayed-on polyurethane lining to protect your truck bed. Rhino Linings is the world's leading sprayed-on liner company. Their Tough Stuff liner, sprayed on up to a 1/4 inch thick, is virtually indestructible polyurethane. And unlike plastic liners, which don't stop truck bed rust, a Rhino Lining protects your investment permanently. A Rhino Lining only takes a few hours to apply, and it's warranted by your dealer for as long as you own your truck. So if you want to protect your truck's value, get a Rhino Liner. Call or log on right now. We'll send you a free brochure, a sample of Tough Stuff, and give you the name of the Rhino Lining's dealer nearest you. Call now.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio as we are now officially at the halfway point of our American Sedan battle. And this man, Andy McDermott, has now found himself in the lead. He was closing on it, but then he was able to get by with a bit of a gift as Ross Murray experienced some problems. And Biz, I understand Ross is with you.
Well, Ross is with me. He wishes he was out on the track. But Ross, what was all that smoke? A huge bang. What went wrong?
I think the transmission, but hard to tell, but the motor was still good. Just either the transmission, maybe the rear end, but probably third gear and the transmission let go. I think a lot of my other competitors have had that trouble. It's my first one for me. But, you know, I started to pick it up. I had a pretty comfortable. Then I saw Andy coming, and he's always fast. I started picking it up, and that was it, you know.
That was it, guys. It wasn't the motor. It was something in the drivetrain.
Well, there's lots of bits in there, and of course lots of lubricants in there as well. Oh boy, when it let go, that piece then apparently could have been a piece of gear or gearbox casing. So that was a problem as well. And there's a battle. That's number 6 in 6 right now. Cary Grant out of Cordova, Tennessee. One of that Grant's Army we've talked about. The huge family of relation here that are running in road racing at the Runoffs here this weekend. He's trying to work his way through some lap traffic there. I believe that's the number 47 who had that problem earlier. No, okay, now this is the battle though behind them. That is number 0. And that's Brian Dobbins, Dorsey, out of the Houston region, running in the Southwestern Division, I believe. And he's got a great scrap right behind him is 32, Kelly Lubash.
Yeah, these two have been going at it now for the last, several laps, actually. And really are very equally matched. Nobody really getting much advantage, but they're just running in tandem.
Ooh, Lubash looking at it, but... you know, one of the things I've been watching, Calvin, with your knowledge of this racetrack, you're watching the American sedans versus some of the other cars, is it looks like you have to drive with a lot of anticipation in this class due to the weight and power and the relatively small contact patch for the rubber. You got to turn in, wait for the car to take a set, know what it's going to do in advance of doing it, and then through some of the busy, twistier bits, they're driving some different lines.
Yeah, and we're probably going to see some real different lines now, Greg. It's starting to rain. They're going to try and find that wet line, but you're absolutely
somebody
right.
Off right there.
Someone on the exit of the keyhole there loops it around. Doesn't look like there's any damage. There's a curb, though. He's got to be careful when he comes back over there. He doesn't pull the muffler off or something. But
that's Cary Grant, who we were just talking about, Calvin, who was running in 6th, and he's lost a lot of room here.
But what they have to do, Greg, in these cars is to really set up wide and try not to pinch the car too much, particularly up through Madness. Here we see a replay of the incident, Dorsey, as he's coming off the keyhole, hard on the power, pinches the car a little bit, loops it around, and then backs it off, trying to get out of the way. But look at the rain pouring down.
That, I think, was the issue right there.
Sure it was. He got in the rain and the thing took off on him. He wasn't ready for it. And a couple of guys behind him were lucky to get stopped.
Now, Calvin, this area of track, they're driving, even though it's dry here, coming up into Madness, you were pointing out a very interesting line.
Right here. See how they set up way to the right, a lot further than we've seen in the other classics, so they want to get in a straight line to get up over that hill. That hill there, what I call turn 10, is a real corner in one of these things. The car gets light in the rear end, lots of torque, easy to get wheel spin, and particularly in 11 as well. These elevation changes in these Mustangs and in these Camaros is a real problem for these boys.
That's number 6. Remember now, he has dropped back quite a bit. We'll see where he slots in next time by. But that promotes the number 0 of Brian Dobbins now into the 6th spot. And right in front of him is number 25, Dave Bechtel, running in 5th. Of course, up front, it's McDermott, chased by Robin Burnett. And still in 3rd is Matt Roberts in that last medal position.
Right up in here is where we saw the trouble before. We know it's been raining pretty good up in here, so it should be slippery, Cal. You can see it now with the sheen on the water.
Yeah, what the guys need to do, I mean, this racetrack is a great racetrack, but in the rain it is a nightmare. I mean, online on those concrete patches, it's so polished, so smooth. We see several cars now spinning off. They need to run the wet line, which is essentially around the outside of the dry line, try and find some abrasion, try and get off the oily part of the racetrack, because it is a skating rink. You cannot believe how slippery it is when it starts to rain like this.
Number 80 is Dave Benhouse, runs in the Central Division in the Ventec Motorsports Who's Your Tire Mustang, and he's really struggling out there. You can see that it's loose all over the place.
Look at the concrete patches here. You can see the water right now. The concrete patches have sealer on them, and those are not the place you want to be. You see these cars now both taking the rain line. Here's the replay of the, he's just way over his head, way too much speed out the outside, Cal.
Yeah, that wasn't really anything to do with being on the dry line there. He just entered turn 1 with way too much speed. Actually got lucky to pull this one out through the gravel trap. That did its job to slow him down a little bit, and then he gets on the wet grass and tries to get it back together. But the boys will now be experimenting. They're going to try and find a wet line. If you've got experience in the wet, it's a big advantage.
Well, now he's just got to calm down a little bit, and as you pointed out, find the grip out there. It's a huge search, obviously, in these conditions. Andy McDermott, though, as he is closing in and completing lap 14, nice lead.
Hey, guys, check out this stuff.
You're in a world of stuff that's all around. There's so much noise you can barely hear a sound. All that you see is candy for your eyes. You got more stuff than you realize.
Got it? Get it.
You've got stuff and stuff you need. You'll get more if you believe. So much stuff is all around. Do you have the stuff?
Want more stuff?
1 year of Stuff magazine for $14.97 plus a free t-shirt. Call now.
Hey, guys, check out this stuff.
You're in a world of stuff that's all around. There's so much noise you can barely hear a sound. All that you see is candy for your eyes. You got more stuff than you realize.
Got it? Get it.
You've got stuff and stuff you need. You'll get more if you believe. So much stuff is all around. Do you have the stuff?
Want more stuff?
1 year of Stuff magazine for $14.97 plus a free t-shirt. Call now.
He's been voted the most powerful on-air personality in sports. He's larger than life. He sparked a passion taking the country by storm. And the Sporting News says he's generated more buzz than Oprah Winfrey and Larry King. He's arguably the hippest, freshest, funniest sports talker working today.
You're underpaid. There's no question about that.
That is some serious smack. Jim Rome, The Last Word. Weeknights at 6:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome to the jungle. This weekend on Speed Vision, lock on to all the ARCA stock car action. Then the Ferraris take charge as Formula One heads to Japan. Plus, check out the nitro-burning Gladiators on NHRA drag racing. That's ARCA stock car racing, F1 Japanese Grand Prix, and NHRA drag racing. Only on Speed Vision.
Today's live Speed Vision coverage of the Valvoline Runoffs is being brought to you by Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines, and by Kumho Tires. Kumho, way to go. The sedans at war here in the waning stages of the race, coming up in the last quarter of this race. And number 24, Andy McDermott, has this is amazing. Certain parts of the track almost look bone dry, other parts absolutely awash, but it's the sections that are awash that are taking their toll. This, folks, is the champion of the Central Division, Bob Allison, one of the most experienced drivers out there in the Red Line old Goodyear Chevy Camaro, and having a problem out there as well. The fact that he's out is testament indeed to just how tricky things are out on the course.
They'd been working on that car. He'd really been working on getting the braking performance better, and as always, searching for that elusive horsepower. And he felt he'd got a little bit of a gain from last year, but qualified well, but out of the running right now.
Up front, though, Andy McDermott has a nice lead. You can see, I mean, he's drawing away. You can't even see second place behind him. So Sandy Hang, everything going well, it appears, for Andy McDermott.
And they are fidgeting just a little bit in the pit because he has radioed in that it is very, very slippery. His times have dropped off a half a second in the last 3 laps. And his crew chief, Steve Duquette, is a little bit concerned at this point.
Well, I would think part of that, though, might be the fact that he's got a pretty substantial lead and parts of the track so dicey. I mean, he doesn't have to push. Let me there. You can see the rain coming up. You don't have to push that hard in those sections right now.
Well, he worked more or less a rain line there. You saw him on the outside of that concrete patch there. But still, when you got 500-plus horsepower and it's slippery. Look at this. Speaking of slippery, look at here. We got problem.
That's the number 47 who had the flat tire earlier, and he's out just trying to hang on, get any kind of finish. And he's now right in the middle of a big battle for what is the 5th spot. Number 0, Brian Dobbins, in the lighter orange car, not the Daigle orange, the one right there going on the screen. And then number 32, Kelly Lubash. That's the battle for 5th, and Lubash right now is trapped behind that number 47, who looks like he's trying to get out of the way. But you see that? Huge power oversteer.
Yeah, he just got on the throttle way too hard there. The car was loose all the way. Now, the 32 car was on the dry line, which is not the right line, Calvin. I mean, you saw how slippery it was when he got there.
It's really slick, and the trouble is as well, Dorsey, you touch those painted curbs, and they're like ice as well. I mean, and someone's smoking their badly. I'm not sure if it was lockup or not.
I think so. I think that was 47 again. He's just having a tough day, Martin Shook. And who knows, maybe when he got that flat tire, maybe it did some damage to the brakes or whatever, but he's been struggling. Meanwhile, McDermott puts another one in the books, completing lap 16, 4 to go in his quest for an American Sedan Championship, a Sedan. And he's been chasing this for a long time. He was on his roof once down at Road America in his quest to get this championship, and boy, it would mean so much if it came good.
His crew should be talking to him now and say, hey, look, now calm down. You only got 4 laps to go. There's nobody can catch you. Just don't make a mistake. And you see right now, he'll work the outside of this racetrack, Calvin. Stays off of that concrete.
Well, then he goes back on it. Ideally, he needs to keep at least that left side, Dorsey, on the blacktop. Now you can hear him actually just on and off the gas pedal, trying to keep it under control. He needs to run that rim shot a little bit further. There's so much more grip there. You don't have any margin for error because you're right next to the grass, but there's so much more grip that you kind of want to hear that rubber bouncing around and hitting underneath the fenders. That means you've got some grip. And even here at the end of the back straightaway, you want to break in the middle of the road. It's not so wet down here, though.
So right now, just doing a check of timing and scoring, we get the report that his last lap for McDermott, and understandably, that last lap time, 6 seconds off his best in this race. But again, a good, half of the track seems to be in very, very dicey conditions.
Well, in this situation that he's in right now, you would win at the slowest possible speed. Why put the car in jeopardy? Nobody can catch up in 3 laps the amount of lead that he has right there. So don't even go for it.
And one of the concerns, too, in looking at the weather is the front of the clouds that are producing that snow and sleet on that side of the track is shifting over the entire track. So I think it's just going to get worse, certainly, before it gets better. And, in fact, a lot of this weather is projected to hang around for the rest of the weekend. So these guys here and for the rest of this day certainly, I think, are in for it.
That makes it tough for the next race. If you're sitting on the pre-grid right now, you're wondering what tire compound to run, what setup to put on the car. You either want it wet or dry. This in-between stuff is really, really difficult to make your final choice.
3 laps to go for McDermott. Soon to be 3 to go as well for second place. Robin Burnett, who's put in a very good drive. It's just he can't match the pace right now. McDermott, he's driving the Hoosier Tire Steeda. That's a great prep shop in the KFP Ford Mustang Cobra. Doing a nice job, very, very solid in second, but just doesn't have anything for McDermott.
You know what's bad about this type of situation right here is that it's not wet enough to run a rain tire. If you wanted to, you couldn't do it because there's no puddling yet. And this little bit of sheen on top of the track, that just, it spells slippery. I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than that.
Now they have an intermediate. It's just a tire shaved to a little bit deeper depth than the actual, what they would call the dry tire, if you will. Would that be more effective, you think, in these conditions?
Yeah, it would, but the one advantage these guys also have is that they at least got to start the race on these tires and get heat in them before the rain came. So once you got the thing up to temperature, it actually gives you some grip.
Where you have a real problem is if you get a full caution period and those things cool down and then you're in these conditions. You're right, Dorsey, tire temperature is key. As you mentioned, Greg, I mean, if you got that slightly deeper tread, it gives you better water dissipation if there's any water out there, but also it's going to move around, squirm around, as Dorsey said, and build some tire temperature. So when you're on these shaved slicks, as John Bizignano put on camera earlier in this race, it's like a slick almost, and there's very little grip in these conditions.
We've been following number 10, Matt Roberts, out of Torrington, Connecticut, second in the Northeastern Division. The New England region is home for him, driving the dependable fuel Dempsey Islet's Ford Mustang. And 2 wins, 6 podium finishes, so he's incredibly consistent every time he races. And there is 4th place right there. That's number 25, David Begtel. He's out of Leo, Indiana, runs out of the Central Division, and is in the Goodyear L&L Specialist and KP Pisto Chevrolet Camaro. And look at this. We're seeing, once again, we're seeing shadows out there. There's a little lightning going on. I think it may be the calm before the storm, but nonetheless, drivers always like to see that.
David right there in 4th place. That's exactly where he started. He qualified in 4th and started there. I'm sure he thinks he's running. It's hard to run like this. A half-hour race seems like you've been out there, as you know, Calvin. It seems like you're there for a week sometimes.
I know. I mean, you just can't believe that the laps are counting down this slowly, particularly for Andy McDermott up front. But interesting point here, we've got 3 Mustangs. And the Mustangs really haven't had a dominant time here in this division, so this could be a big podium for them here today.
And that's 0, Brian Dobbins out of Manassas, Virginia, driving in the Northeastern Division, the Washington, D.C. region, as a matter of fact. 2 wins there in his Goodyear Dobbin Holmes Chevrolet Camaro. Track temperature on the pyrometers, 44 degrees. Boy, that's awfully cool ambient temperatures for these guys to be working on. Doing a great job keeping the car underneath them, and a superb job. Now, the next time McDermott, here he is, next time as he's working through turn 11 and down through Thunder Valley. Next time by start finish, Cal, 1 lap to go.
Well, he's doing a great job. It's something that the tire companies, I mean, imagine these manufacturers, they go out there. We were in Texas about a month ago. We had track temperatures of 138 degrees, and they've got to build a range of tires for all different forms of racing, different racing conditions. So hats off to those guys. I know Husier came here with over 4,000 tires for this weekend, so they supply a lot of different classes, a lot of different compounds for the adverse driving conditions.
We have a huge battle here, guys, for 11th. Number 6, remember, that's Kerry Grant, who was up in the top 6 a little bit earlier, had that off and dropped back, but right behind him, number 14, Dave Smith in the Ford Mustang, really putting some pressure on. They're, in fact, closing up on number 96. That's Bob Hahn out of Texas. He's also in a Mustang. This is a great scrap, basically a 4-way battle for 10th.
This class has really evolved, Greg, over the last couple of years when they've changed the rules around a little bit to allow different brakes and different suspensions, which equalized some of the cars. The old Ford Mustang of years gone by, which, Calvin, you said it hadn't had a good year in a while. Well, it used to have drum brakes on the back. Now you can change all that. This car is on its way to a win.
Speaking of braking, this is the hardest braking on this racetrack. In fact, with the elevation change and the off-camber nature of the track, really at the end of the straightaway is the only time you're 100% on the brakes, using them up, throwing out the anchors, trying to get it slowed down. And Andy McDermott's on his final lap here, and he's just trying to get it home here, trying to keep it clean. Hopefully there's no traffic which will come into play, but he has a nice lead.
He has driven an absolutely beautiful race, pushing incredibly hard when he needed to, throwing the car around. But when he got the gift, when Murray had the problems, he backed off, just went into super smooth and conservation mode, and drew away from Burnett in second. I mean, this has been just a classic drive by Andy McDermott. Assuming he hangs on, this is one he can be very proud of.
Yeah, he's only got a couple corners to go. I don't think you'll see him make a mistake. He's been meticulous today. You know, he talked to his crew, said it's really getting slippery. I'm sure they calmed him down, and this last corner will give him the national championship.
Here he comes, Andy McDermott, and look at that. Thanks to the crew, Ala Schumacher in the swerve to the pit wall, and he is national champion. Believe me, folks, this is going to be so sweet for Andy McDermott. He's wanted this so bad for so long, and it is very touching. Here comes second place. Number 21, Robin Burnett, qualified third, has been right there this entire race. Here he comes out of the carousel, coming up on a lap car, and Burnett takes second place, and it looks as though it's number 10, Matt Roberts, will be the guy to hang in there for third. A little shot there, Harvey West. Harvey's been racing in this division forever. There's Burnett picking up the bronze medal, and a great job by certainly Burnett, and of course number 10, Matt Roberts, getting the bronze. But there is 24, Andy McDermott. Has been chasing it for a long time, and after an absolutely beautiful, masterful job covering mixed conditions, he can say, I'm national champion.
That kind of information in $2 won't even get me on the bus. What I need to know is, what do you know about these guys? How you doing? Okay, yeah, well, the market's closing, and guess what? So is your career. You're killing me. Sell it. What are you, 4 years old? To be in the market, you've got to stay connected.
Yeah. You see what Tanbrink Steel did?
Oh, what do you got there?
Email alert from Ameritrade. I tell them what stocks I want tracked. They tell me when things happen.
On your cell phone?
Or pager, or PDA, or computer.
Note to self, email alerts with Ameritrade.
You get free research, too.
Do you? Yeah. Well, he gets free research, too.
I'll show you.
Oh, please. Wait, it's only $8 to make a trade?
$8? That's my roll.
Oh, it's me, too.
You want to handle that stuff?
No, I'm fine.
Open a cash account with $500 and get 25 internet equity trades commission-free in the first month. Call 1-800-AMERITRADE. It's how you get somewhere on Wall Street.
According to a new study published by the Information Technology Association of America, over 1.6 million new information technology jobs will become available this year alone. The study also identifies technical institutes as one of the best ways to acquire the necessary skills to meet these new career opportunities. ITT Tech. Our focus is on college degrees in technology. ITT Technical Institute. Education for the future. To find out more, call 1-800-942-0099 or visit us on the web.
Saturday nights at 7 Eastern, feel the rumble of the V-Twin on American Thunder. And at 11 Eastern and midnight Pacific, it's Hot Rod and Biker Flicks at the Lost Drive-In. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern and the Lost Drive-In at 11 Eastern, 12 Pacific, every week on Speed Vision.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio, and Andy McDermott is back on the track, and with a flourish, just did a huge burnout coming out of pit lane. He doesn't need those tires anymore. He wanted to celebrate. He's got the entire crew on board here as he's celebrating a well-earned and long overdue national championship. Let's take a look at our carparts.com. Sedan provisional results. McDermott, Burnett, and Roberts, we talked about them. Very steady drives all. David Begtel, the early contact with 88 didn't fluster him. He stayed there for fourth. Brian Dobbin stayed with it, came up to fifth. Then Kelly Lubosh, Kenneth McVicker, Greg Ditzian doing a nice job up into eighth. Mark Warno and Kerry Grant, who'd run as high as sixth before, slipped back and fought his way back into the top 10. So, boy, another great race. Obviously, with the weather conditions that we had, it mixed things up a little bit. But one thing to remember about Andy McDermott, he started in 13th. And he ends up national champion. And regardless of what develops in front of you, to come from that deep in the pack in this competitive a class, that is an accomplishment. And there is Andy and the crew. Boy, they're stopping. That's where...
Look here, he's going to do a smoky burnout.
He's doing a burnout for everybody. Did I tell you? Wooma. That is Wooma at full throat.
And he's got another 600 pounds of weight that he didn't have in the trunk, where those arms are connected to big bodies in there.
Alex Zanardi, look out.
Oh, absolutely. That was great. Meanwhile, we have a couple of very happy medalists as well, still down in victory circle with Sandy Hang.
First is smoking Matt Roberts. Congratulations, third place here today. And I know you had a lot of last-minute decisions to make as far as the gears went, but it looks like it worked out in your favor.
We had a pretty good day. I'd like to say happy anniversary to my wife, because she let me come out here today. And dependable fuel, Dempsey Eyeless, for all the help they did to me for this year. And all my friends that come out here and help me week in and week after. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Well, congratulations. Let's move on down. Let's try to find another celebrator here. Of course, Robin Burnett. Oh, just out of the car. Congratulations. A great run for you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a tough one. You'd go through one corner and it'd be dry, and the next time around it'd be really slick and almost throw you off the track. But the Hoosier tires came through, and they stuck well enough in that snow, and just didn't have anything for Andy. He came from nowhere, it seemed, and went on by. But car handled well. I got to thank all my crew.
Yeah! Woo! Real quickly, what'd you think about that sleet right at the end and the little slipperiness?
Oh, that was really difficult because it was only snowing on half the track. You'd go through 12, everything was great. You'd hook up fine, and you'd get in 14 down the front straight and slide right off into the grass. It was really tough.
Okay, thanks, Robin Burnett. Second place here today. Woo! Yeah!
The gold medal, of course, is where you want to be, but obviously silver's not too bad. That is a very happy crew and certainly a very elated driver, and with good reason. That was a very steady drive. Again, it's very iffy conditions, and they pulled it off. But when we come back, we'll get a word with our gold medalist.
You see a lot of gas additives on the road today, but you can pass them by when you choose new 104 Plus Octane Boost with Acceleron. Our new Acceleron technology delivers power and performance to any vehicle, old or new. Just one bottle boosts octane effect, cleans engine parts, and improves miles per gallon, safely with long-lasting results. Get a kick out of driving. Get new 104 Plus Octane Boost with Acceleron.
When was the last time you spent 10 hours trying to do your job 1 second faster?
Hold your brake. Reset your fuel. Go, go, go. Good job, Royals.
This weekend, come one, come all to a complete weekend filled with family, friends, and fun. Don't miss the Olympics of amateur road racing. SCCA Valvoline Runoffs, live this weekend only on Speed Vision.
And here is your winner. We are back now with Andy McDermott. Came from 13th to take the gold medal. What an incredible run.
Well, it was kind of fun, actually. I knew we had the car to beat this morning when we went out for warm-up. It was perfect. So we were just thrilled. The Goodyear tires, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Perfect for the race. Red line oil, incredible. Felt like the motor was going away from me at the end. The red line oil held on for us. Great. We just love it.
Steve Duquette, your crew chief, was pacing at the end. He was fidgety. Your times were falling off because it was getting slippery, but you didn't seem to be worried.
No, it wasn't too bad, although it was actually snowing in the keyhole. I couldn't believe it. But anyways, it was fine. The Goodyear tires held on, no sweat. It was a pretty easy drive.
Okay, there's your winner, Andy McDermott. And now let's go down to John Bizignano.